Hopefully this is working. And this time I'm going to actually do the checklist. It's going to be amazing, because apparently last time was just bullshit NT rambling, so hopefully this is less bullshit rambling. Hopefully the audio's better. I've got a microphone actually set up this time, because I didn't have a mic stand last time, so I couldn't do it. Yeah, so I'm going to try and go through the list. Also, hi. I should probably say hi at the beginning of the video, but what can you do? I went on a bullshit anti-ramble immediately. I had to blast before playing. What is your average day / week like? Wake up, time, school, work, friends, family drama, interests, etc. That's a hard question. I think this morning I woke up at 1 o'clock. I think the morning before that I woke up at 4 a.m. So this isn't really an amazing fucking start to the typing questions. My average day, what is my average day? I don't have an average day. I wake up when I wake up. It just kind of happens, depending on when I fall asleep. I'd like to wake up, ideally waking up would be sort of, if I had a schedule, which I don't have, I think waking up would be between 6 and 8 a.m, that would be good. Sort of rising with the sun, but not so much in summer, because it gets it's like 5 in the morning and the sun's up in summer. School, I have 1 day a week of university at the moment, because I had health issues last year. I had tendinitis or repetitive strain or carpal tunnel or something along those lines. Oh god, I'm clipping really hard on the mic. It's going red, guys. And this is going to be so quiet half the time and so loud the other half of the time. I wish I could keep myself contained better. But yeah, I had carpal tunnel or something. The doctor's not exactly sure what it was, because I think carpal tunnel is supposed to be like you have like numbness on like your thumb side, and I had it like on this side. And to give context to why that's even important, I'm a guitarist and a general musician, and I was studying guitar at uni, getting a popular music performance degree, and for one of my modules was a guitar exam, and I got stressed out before it and was practicing too much, and I flared up some massive tendinitis. To the point where I couldn't really fucking do anything. I could barely drink, like, water and coffee with my left hand, because it was just so fucked. And then it started hurting my elbow, and then it started hurting the shoulder, and then this shoulder, and I don't know. It might have literally just been stress, to be honest. And I also think I don't play guitar as much nowadays, but I think I've got bad technique. To randomly go off on a tangent, you want to keep a straight wrist. Like for good form, you should have like both your wrists straight when you're playing an instrument, because you're putting a lot of pressure through your tendons to going into your fingers. And I started learning to play when I was like 14 or 13, and I've got like bad habits from just like not knowing what the fuck I was doing and being self-taught and just general stupidity. So I'm going to turn this mic back up because I'm scared that I'm just going to be inaudible. Yeah. So I think that's part of it. What the fuck is red immediately? I'm so distracted by the sensory, guys. It must be an SE dom. Yeah, family drama, work. I don't have work. I'm looking for a job that's somewhat related to my degree, and as you can imagine, that is fucking a pain in the arse. There's no live sound jobs that I can find like easily on the internet, at least. There's no... The first thing I did was I applied for every fucking music store in town for just, do you need someone to stack shelves and shit and set up people's guitars? But no, I'm just trying to make money in a way that's related to audio. I might end up becoming a voice actor. That's what I'm looking into right now. If there's like voice acting jobs online that you can do, and and now it pays well, and there's sound involved, so that would be somewhat related to my degree. But if I have to fucking work stacking shelves in like a grocery store or something, like if it comes down to it, I will do that. But what the fuck, man? That is so fucking stupid. I think I talked about my interest in that. Friends, I don't really have many friends in this town. I see like a few friends every now and then. I mainly talk to people over Facebook. I'm gonna move on. How long have I been talking about this shit? 5 minutes? What else should I talk about? Well, I feel like this is a terrible video already. I think everyone's gonna type me as fucking any dom or something. It's making me sweat, the intensity of this whole thing. Yeah, a lot of OE bouncing off the walls. I probably shouldn't mention functions, but fucking, I'm a disaster today. What was one of the best times in your life you've ever had? I'm deciding to move on in case that wasn't apparent. Best times in my life. Do you know what? I'll give you two, actually. When was this? I guess summer of 2018. I started getting into. So I was just up until this point, I was a guy who played guitar and then sang occasionally if I had to sing because I was performing. And I don't know, like a YouTube video of a guy playing guitar might be cool and like people might watch it. But equally, if you're in a pub or a bar. At an open mic, you should probably fucking sing people a song, otherwise they're just gonna hear plink, plink, plonk, 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 and then walk out of the room. So, that was me, and that was me for like 10 years, basically. A bit less than 10 years, but rounding up. And at that point, I realised, like going to uni, moving towns, doing all this shit to do with music, that my vision, or my plan or dream or what I wanted, like what I foresaw for myself as like something that I thought would be really cool for my life, where I saw myself being as a guitarist in a really great band that I get along with the people really well, and we all sort of like, even if we have differences of like creative, I don't know what you'd call that, but when bands break up because of creative differences, to not be one of those bands. But you know when bands come together and every individual musician has like a really like individualistic style. Like a band that I'm not a fan of, but just coming to mind is the Deftones. They've got a hip hop drummer and a metal guitar player and fuck knows what other singer, and they don't agree on the style, but they all come together and make music and people like it and it's cool, even if it's not like what each individual was going for. I was looking for something like that, and I thought that naturally I'd fall into place in something like that, and the reality of the situation is no, it just hasn't happened for me. I have not found a band, and I also liked working with a singer-songwriter back in London when I lived in London. And I thought, yeah, I'll find a singer-songwriter whose music I'm really into, who sort of like sees my guitar playing and understands it, and we'll do something cool there. But no, equally no. So at a certain point, I was like, you know what? I'm in my 20s now. I'm getting old, relatively. Like if you're a musician and you want to get shit moving in your music career, you don't. Like ideally, you're not starting when you're 45. And daylight is burning, so I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to do this on my own, which I had no interest in doing really until I found a few artists and my friend got into hip-hop production, and I was like, oh fuck it, if my friend can do it and fucking these random people can do it, why can't I? Like for me, production, especially like in hip-hop sort of sense, coffee's getting cold, was like LA, Pharrell Williams, all this shit. And I was like, what the fuck am I, some scruffy hippie from England who plays a bit of fucking guitar, gonna fucking be producing records for? I felt like I slurred that, so producing records for. But in the end, that's now exactly what I'm doing, because it's just I just don't see another way, and I need like I I need to be putting out music. So this needs to happen, and if things don't align for me, for how I want things to go, you got to find another way. And I'm pretty happy, to be honest, with the result. I'm still realistically a beginner producer. I've been producing for like a year or something. So my music isn't exactly what I want it to be. It's not perfect. I'm kind of like extremely self-critical of it. But at the same time, I wouldn't have thought I'd be able to do what I'm doing now a couple of years ago. And that's something that I try and keep in mind in my perspective, where when I'm trying to compare myself to, not so much compare myself to people, but compare myself to my potential. I'm like, I could be doing better than this, man. I could do, but I could also still never have fucking started producing and stuff. And I could still just be fucking wallowing around, just like, oh, why doesn't anyone want to be in a band with me? Yeah. I'm gonna have to cut a bit of that laughing out because it was just too much, I think. Yeah. So relatively, I mean, I could be doing a lot worse. I was going to be talking about what the fuck the best times of my life was. Yeah, so 2015, not 2015. How did I get on such a tangent? Yeah, so I started producing music in like, let's say end of the year 2017. I don't know, like school years kind of throw me off and I'm trying to figure this out. It wouldn't have been 2017, I think 2018. Let's say summer of 2018, by the time my course was sort of like out for the summer, I had nothing better to do than just fucking learn to produce music and just spend all day just figuring out how to put tracks together, from the drums to the bass to the guitar to the piano to the voice, and sort of like, how am I going to put lyrics over this, what are the melodies. And it was just so like refreshing for me because I've been doing music for a long time, and you sort of feel like you like after a certain point you feel jaded and you feel like, not like you know everything, but like, yeah, this is rock guitar and funk guitar and blues guitar, and they're all kind of just the same thing. Like, they're different accents. Like, it's like, oh wow, American English, that's so different from what I'm speaking right now. And it kind of, like, it's not exactly the same thing, but, you know, in pop music, in Western pop music, as a guitarist, there's cool shit to learn, for sure, but what the fuck? Like, for me, making my own style in that would have been really hard, and was kind of hard. Like, I do have my own style, and I'm going to be doing an acoustic sort of singer-songwriter type album after what I'm finished with the more urban one. But yeah, what made that time so great was just being in the studio all day, and then coming out and seeing the sun, loving life, being inspired, and having a new lease on life. Because when you've been doing something for 10 years and you sort of feel like you've hit the bottom of the barrel, and you don't like it that much. Like, I always kind of liked music, but like the shit surrounding making music and like people and stuff, it's not that cool. Like, to go off on a massive fucking rant about people, which is, it's not actually a massive rant about people, but atmosphere, like, the other best time of my life would have been like 2015, before coming to university, when I was like a pretty decent guitar player, good enough to get into a university and stuff. Sort of playing with one of my friends in a lot of pubs. The atmosphere was really fucking great. Everyone was sort of supportive. We were all of the musicians in the area were trying to like help each other out and like share stuff, and sort of like we were all really excited and passionate about music, and that was like the main driving thing, and we all had this common goal, and like, not common goal, but like common interest, I guess. Common, I feel like there's too much in my head in this. It's not really that. Now my head's cut off. Focus. Yeah, we all had a common sort of ground, and we all liked the same things, and it was a good, nice sort of place to be. Whereas in university for me, it was like competitive, sort of closed off, shitty attitudes, people trying to cut each other down and stuff, and I was like, man, I'm not playing, like, if you're a session musician, right, people who actually get paid and shit, like people who fucking play weddings and whatever, you're not really playing what you want to be playing, right? It's not your taste in music, and you have to play it to a fucking exceptional level, so you have to put in an unbelievable amount of time and effort into something you don't really care about. Which in of itself is kind of a bummer, but you know, you can deal with these things. We have to deal with these things in life. It's normal. And I thought, yeah, you know what, whatever, fuck it. I can handle not playing the best music ever, if I get paid, like, you know. But when I'm playing, if you're playing not the best music ever, and the people who you're supposed to be in a relationship with, like bands basically are like a polyamorous relationship of like 4 or 5 people, and all of them are like standoffish, toxic cunts, it makes it like a really sort of like hard type of thing to be dealing with. And 2015, summer of 2015, and also later 2018, like the two times where music really came to a forefront in my life, and I was like, you know, I'm doing the right thing, this is actually good, I know why I'm doing this. I'm not just fucking ruining my own life for no reason, because of a crazy idea that I have, a notion that that, you know, like, because I was 14 and I thought, oh, you know, I should really fucking do this or whatever, that now I'm fucking paying the price and the consequence of the stupidity of my 14-year-old self. I really can fucking ramble, can't I? Jesus. And this has been the most fucking OE rambles ever, to just fucking tangent off into a million fucking things. Oh, god damn it. I am on the fucking NESI axis, aren't I? This is fucking depressing. Oh, god. Sad times. I'm joking, if you're on the NE axis and also have fragile FFI, you're all cool. I don't hate any, although it can be a bit much at times. Like, if you're probably watching this video the way I'm fucking just spazzing out about random stuff, it's a bit much. It's a bit hard to follow. What is the biggest challenge in your life right now? The point here is to get you talking about what you really care about. I've been doing that for the last 20 fucking minutes, I think. Yeah, almost 20 minutes. The biggest challenges in my life. Lack of money, I guess. Not being able to find a job. People not giving... It's not really that challenging or confusing to me, but that's kind of like, that would be cool if people gave a shit about the music that I was putting online. Well, I'm sharing it and people do, like, I have like a very small fan base of people that seem to appreciate it, but you know, there's no traction when I put things online. Like, if you're a business owner or whatever and you come out with a new product, which is basically how I'd relate music to, as a product, and you know, I've worked and developed on this thing for like the last few months, and I put it on the internet, and instead of like exploding, I think John Mayer made the analogy right one time of you light the fuse and you're like, and this is the bomb. You're like, oh, it's gonna fucking be the massive explosion. It's gonna be, and then it gets to the thing and it just goes. And you're like, who's an idiot now? Are you the idiot who fucking didn't believe in me, or am I a fucking idiot for believing in my song? Yeah, so that's kind of, that's a challenge maybe. But it kind of makes sense to me. I don't really have any promotion, and these songs, the way that I'm putting them out, like, the songs are cool or whatever, and the project should be cool. but it's not to a standard of fucking, like, you know, a team of amazing people working on something. It's just me in my bedroom with this fucking microphone and that guitar, and also that guitar which has got a jacket on it, and like, oh shit, this tiny little keyboard thing. So I'm not really shocked, or amazed, or baffled, or challenged. Yeah, I think I kind of answered this in previous questions, really. The thing that I'm trying to remember is, do they say minimum 40 minutes or no longer than 40 minutes and minimum 20 minutes? Because I'm halfway through this shit, and I could go on for hours, I feel like, about just nonsense fucking stuff where I'm just gonna go off on some fucking tangents that don't fucking relate to anything or anyone. Right, fuck it, whatever. I'm gonna try and make it like 45 minutes. I think that's like a good amount of time. I think if it's over that, people won't give a shit. And then if it's under that, that might not be enough information. But this is mainly for people in the Facebook group, really. I might use it for shave, but that won't be anytime soon. So I think you've got loads of info about me being a fucking idiot in the comments. I'm not halfway through. This is 4 out of 5. What would your ideal life look like 10 years from now? Good question, because I don't know what the fuck's going on in the world at large. Like, will there be Western society in 10 years? It's something that I've been talking about the last few days. It's like, what? This doesn't seem like it's going that well, the whole Western civilization thing, but I've been thinking this my whole fucking life. So, realistically, oh god, the microphone's still working, I hope. Please be working. If this fucking, like, there's no audio to this video, I'm gonna be really, I don't know if I'd kill myself or if I'd go on a killing spree, but somebody would die. I probably, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what my ideal life would look like in 10 years, because I'm doing a lot in music, and I think I've got kind of like a wide skill set, so I can see myself, like, what would be really cool for me would be to be an artist and put out my own music for myself that I like to write, that I think is interesting and cool and creative, and, you know, sort of pushing maybe some envelopes while also is doing something for me personally as far as like expression and understanding myself, because I feel like maybe my emotions is something that I'm not that in touch with. My friend accuses me of being emotionally retarded, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think my emotions are just like not that this doesn't make sense, but like close to me, or like close to the bone. Like, I know friends who I type as like FI DOMs, and you say something to them like, I am not sure about your job there when you washed the dishes. I feel like you left some stuff on the dish, and their reaction will be like, and it's like, how is this shit getting to you so much? How do you care? How are you about fucking just random stuff, or like, oh my god, I can't believe you're saying this. I just don't give a shit. Like, I do. It's not that I'm totally fucking unemotional and dispassionate and pragmatic about everything in my life. I definitely have emotions and things affect me, and they might affect me deeply even. But it's not. That's fucking retarded, but yeah. I feel like I don't want to talk about functions, but me and personality engineering, I believe, we're talking about sort of TIFE. And my feelings sort of feel like they're not really like part of me. like they feel like they're outside, and like in at least the stereotypical descriptions and stuff of FI, like people's identity and fucking people who I type as being FI, they literally fucking all say stuff about authenticity and being myself and fucking I'm a unique individual and that type of shit, right? That fucking bullshit. And what was my point? Yeah. Okay, I know what my point is. I actually had a greater point of all of this shit that I'm talking about right now. Is, for those people, I feel like they have trouble sometimes writing music because they're all so in on their authenticity and their real self that they can't, with their, they're doing that so much in their life that when it comes to like touching, like revealing or touching a deep spot within them, that they have to like, that I think it's like too intense for them or something, and their songs can be kind of fucked, like not great writing, but not in a technical sense, just like you're not being vulnerable and you're not exposing anything here. Or it's just overly weepy and fucking unbelievably emotional to the point that it's cringe. Whereas for me, I think what I really enjoy about songwriting and stuff, and just writing in general, is that it helps me to get in touch with those emotions which are not really necessarily here. And they're sort of somewhere in the ether. And then I claw them back into myself and then vomit them out of my face, into your face. I blast it at you. Yeah, I think that's something that I really like about songwriting. How do I get so far fucking off of the question every fucking time? Like, I'm gonna watch this back and have no fucking idea how God damn it. So what was I saying about songwriting, sort of FE type of shit? Yeah, and because maybe I'm not. So these FI people will say that I'm emotionally retarded or I'm Mr. Roboto or some shit, and I might sound like I'm being really pragmatic and sort of like giving you some fucking robot talk with random bursts of laughter in the middle, but is this sleep last? Am I just fucking going into sleep mode so hard all of a sudden after blasting for fucking 10 hours? Yeah, so I think because I don't have much vulnerability and stuff in like my day-to-day life and stuff, and despite that I do have emotions, believe it or not, I actually have feelings somewhere in my stack is the F function, that forcibly I wouldn't say forcibly, but powering down whatever the fuck the other shit is. I guess you could say powering down the T, but I'm not really, I don't know if this even is a typology thing that can be quantified with Jungian functions, but you could say that everything can if you want to force it into that context. Yeah, and then actually getting in touch with these abstract sort of outside feelings and then bringing them to me. I think it really does something for me, and I'm able to do it. Maybe because it's less personal, but also I really didn't like it, and I still kind of like, when you're writing you're like, this is fucking cringe, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to put this out. In a way it's really therapeutic and it's a form of therapy, but also in another way it's the opposite, and it's kind of like driving me to almost be more neurotic, I think, or psychotic. I don't know if neurosis or psychosis is really the right word for either of these things, but you get pissed off. Like, I think a lot of people who I've been talking to recently in music are kind of pissed off about, maybe it's just, if anybody watches this far, maybe you can tell me if you've got any experience in business or whatever your art form is or whatever you like doing. But it can feel like the amount that you put in, general energy wise, but I was specifically thinking of like the amount of like passion and love and emotion that you put into your work compared to what you get back out, like money in, money out, the cash flow is really fucking poor, and that can piss you off. And I don't know why I'm choosing to use the word piss off, but it does piss me off. But it's a downer is more sort of what I mean, like things don't make sense in your life because, like, you know, there's a sense that there should be some sort of karmic thing or some sort of way the world or some sort of narrative to life, and there should be a way that the world works where if you fucking do something great or you really go in with like the best of intentions and you try harder to do something, that some fruits should be born of it eventually. But that's not really the case, especially when you're a musician. So that kind of pissed me off. But my plans 10 years from now, what would my ideal life 10 years from now look like? Yeah, so it would either be what I was saying there about that I fucking went on a 10-minute fucking tangential rant on or for. Yeah, I went on a rant about it. I'm getting hit by a wave of tiredness as well as sleeping on my bluff, I guess. Or I could be producing other artists and stuff. I think realistically, not my ideal life, but what realistically my life is going to look like in 10 years. So I'm going to be doing a lot of different shit. Like all of the stuff that I'm going to mention is sort of related, like it's under the same umbrella of sort of music. Yeah, so I'm probably, I think once I've produced, so I've got like 2 or 3 records planned, like proper like artist records, and then I've got stuff on the side planned, but that stuff's sort of more inconsequential. It's just stuff that I'll do when I get around to it. And beyond that, I don't really have plans as an artist. Like, if nobody gives a shit by the time I've done 2 albums worth, and I've tried to, like, produce it well and fucking maybe enlisted the help of some engineers to make it better, and I've looked into marketing and all that stuff. If I've made 2 albums that I'm really happy with, and I think are good and all that shit, and it doesn't go anywhere, like, I'll write more if people want more and people give a shit, but beyond that, for my DI, let's say, for me personally, what I give a shit about is these 2 albums, and I feel like I need to get these 2 albums out that I have planned, and I've got a lot of material already demoed and drafted, and sort of I know vaguely where stuff's going in my head. Then it's going to be about the opposite end of the spectrum, and I do a bit of this already, but not as much as I feel like I will do in the future, of DEing, and doing shit for other people and really using my skill set to help other people make their music, and giving direction to people. I really like doing that. I enjoy the fact that I've been in music for a long time now. And there's people who haven't been in music for a long time, or equally there's people who have been in music for a long time but need a different look, a different perspective and stuff. Just being that guy to sort of give people what they need help with. Facilitating the process is what I call it. Well, that's really what my role is when I sit in the producer's chair, for not myself but for someone else. I'm just really there to make it easy, and give them options that they may not have considered, and tell them what the problem down the road is going to be if they do this thing which isn't standard. There's a lot of stuff which is really creative and non-standard and cool, but things are done in a standardized way for the reason of it works, right? And I want to inform people that they might be doing something which is going to be a massive pain in the ass. It might be really cool, it might be a massive pain in the ass, and I might not think it's cool, but you're going to like it, and my opinion doesn't really matter that much, because at the end of the day, you're the artist and you've got your name on it. And yeah, so producing a bit of music, being a musician. I like film score and composition, and recently I literally like 2 days ago, I started writing a little 2-minute bit of orchestral music, and it came out pretty cool. So I might do some film work. I've always sort of fantasized about doing stuff to picture, or doing score for a video game, themes. I've always really been into original soundtracks to games and movies, arguably more than I'm into games and movies, but it just seemed fucking impossible really without the skill set that I have now. I did this thing and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, and it took me a very short amount of time and was very low energy. It was really fucking, to be honest with you, it was really fucking easy compared to all the bullshit I had to go through to make basically a pop, hip-hop, R&B, soul, singer-songwriter, whatever the fuck genre I am, song from scratch, from nothing to 100% done, everything by myself. That's a lot of fucking effort. Whereas composing a bit of orchestral music, it's a bit hoity-toity. It's orchestra. That shit is so fucking easy compared to making a fucking pop song. Especially for me, I'm a very melodic type of guy. Melodic, chordal, sort of emotional, whatever type of writer. More so than I am a groove guy or a lyricist guy or anything. So I think I could do good in film. So I see myself doing a bit of that in the next 10 years. What else would I do? Maybe I'll be a general content creator. Oh my god, I might be an influencer. I should become an influencer. That's where I see myself in 10 years, my ideal life. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe sort of have... So right now a lot of shit in my life is up in the air. So in 10 years I'd be 34. So by then it would maybe be cool to have a long-term relationship and potential family plans, and sort of know, this is all very open-ended what I'm saying right now, so it'll be cool in 10 years to actually fucking know what I'm doing with my life. Yeah. I don't know if I'm having short-term memory blank, but no, I did say short-term, not short-term, long-term relationships, yeah. Having a sort of family, or plans of a family, or something like that would be a definite goal that I have, and that I've been thinking about. But as with fucking, what I was talking about with bands and stuff, you just can't control the reality of the bullshit that is life, no matter how much you envision stuff, so that's a bit of a pain in the dick, really, isn't it? That really pisses me off. I don't know if it kind of pisses me off, but more actually, realistically, it upsets me, it makes me sad. What are your hotspots? Ooh. This chair. I'm assuming this means, where do I like to go often? Where do I like to go often? I like to go buy groceries. The kitchen. I like cooking the groceries. I don't know. I don't have a hotspot. This is the hotspot. Let me show you the hotspot from the aerial view. This spot is hot, fam. Hot AF. Famalama ding dong. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You catch my continental drift. You smell me. This could go on for a while. I had hotspots when I was younger, when I lived sort of in London near family and stuff, and there was events going on, and I had money. I think lack of money is sort of probably a big contributing factor to me not going anywhere and just having any sort of social life. I've got 5 minutes to answer the next 3 questions. What are you mad about? Bro, I'm mad about a lot of stuff. Am I? I'm not that mad about anything. Not at this very moment. I'm sure there's things that piss me off. No, I'm thinking of things that piss me off right now, and there's a lot of things that piss me off. Mostly when shit fucks up. Or things get in your way. Like things getting in your way. Like people. This is getting into like, I'm basically using fucking OP terms now, and it's really hard for me to not be self-aware of this fact. But I have this general feeling, right, that people are movable. They can be negotiated with. They can be related to. You can find a common ground and understanding. Some people are really fucked and you can't. But those people, whatever, you just move on with your fucking life. When things get in your way, like when a structure gets in your way, like an abstract sort of concept of a structure, like the government, man, they're out to get me, man. That fucks me off. Or like money as a thing getting in your way, that pisses me off. Computers, when fucking things crash and it doesn't save, what the fuck? That pisses me off. I was gonna shout then, but they're not widows, you know. There's probably people around, and if they hear me just monologuing and then start screaming, what the fuck, that would, they'd probably call a fucking, like, I don't know if you'd call the ambulance or the police to get somebody fucking sectioned and detained, but I feel like that's what would happen. So I controlled myself. I'm very proud. Yeah, I don't know. I might literally just be saying that to throw some observer into this horribly single-decided video. But I don't think so. I think things really do piss me off, but that's just so fucking anecdotal, really, isn't it? Like, whatever. Who gives a shit? What's wrong with the world? What is wrong with the world? It's too fucking complicated. Well, that's not... I don't think that's what the question meant. But for me, what's wrong is that things are fucking... Okay, so... Benjamin on his channel asked people, what is truth? And shit, and I thought, I've slept on that question a lot. I thought, what the fuck even does that question mean? And I'm not, so I watched Fred 2's interview again recently, because I felt like we were similar, and I don't know, I wasn't sure, and I'm starting to feel like we are similar but different in ways as well. He was saying he's a pantheist. I've got like a minute. This is fucked up. I'm going to give myself until 50 minutes and probably not use all that time. I don't feel that way. I don't feel like everything's really... I don't look out and see everything being connected. I see everything being one thing. So if I ever get to Benjamin, my answer will be... people don't ever really ask him what he means and get a proper answer out of him, but if he means truth with a capital T, rather than just everyday truth, or what is factual, if he means what is a fact, if he means truth with a capital T, or like what is God, I'd say one is all and all is one. Like the universe isn't several little things making up one big thing, it's literally one big thing, and if you want to divide it up you can, but contained within the one big thing are all of the thing. I could go on to a massive fucking rant about this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to control myself once more. But what's annoying about this is everything's sort of one thing, and there's a general thematic going on in all of life, but equally, to try and keep track of all of the shit that's happening everywhere in the world, like there's shit happening in Africa, there's shit happening on my road right now, and I'm just sort of focused on this, and that kind of annoys me. That's kind of something wrong with the world, is that nobody can fucking keep track of what the fuck's going on. There's too much shit going on. It's too complicated, man. People tell me about this random shit that's happening with, like, Donald Trump did this and fucking whatever. I've heard that guy speak, like, 2 fucking times in my whole life. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, and that kind of, with this, what are you mad about? This is going back to that. What the fuck is going on? What the actual fuck is happening on a daily basis? I have no fucking idea. That's what's... how do we consolidate this information? Okay. I'm trying not to get heated. Do you know what I feel? People say that I'm a fucking mope, right? I feel like I've been really spazzy for a mope in this, but then it's probably the mopiest spaz attacks you've ever seen, of like the chillest rage. Okay, so what's the best thing ever? Love, man, peace and love. I don't know, what is it? Oh, it's drizzling. There's a nice little bit of English pitter-patter refrain outside. Best thing ever. That's so fucking vague. The best thing ever. The first, right, so I'm trying to, like, brainstorm and scatterball ideas in my head, and the thing that's coming up is, like, friendship, right? Friendship is magic, because I was thinking about the ancient Greeks, sort of, Aristotelian, the idea of living a flourishing life, like, what is the best life you can live? It's a life, with friends, and, sort of, you know, a flourishing life where you're improving, where things are getting better and you're working towards something, and there's a point to it all. Yeah, I don't know what the best thing ever is, to be honest. I have very little opinion on what the best thing ever is. I'm sure if I consumed something that was fucking mind-blowing recently, I'd be really excited about that, and I'd tell you that is the best thing ever, but I don't know, it's hard, as you get older, you realise that the best thing ever gets surpassed by another best thing ever, and then you realise that they're both kind of cool, and just are on a spectrum of, that must have been so fucking loud, Jesus, I'm sorry for your ears, especially if you're wearing headphones. Yeah, they're just sort of on a spectrum of goodness, and things are good in different ways. And there's a time and a place for everything. Here's the new list. What the fuck? There's a new list, guys. It's literally the list that I just fucking gave out. Okay, so no longer than 60 minutes. I might as well just end it here. Hopefully that was usable. Hopefully this audio isn't shit this time. I'm gonna hopefully process this. It'll be good if it's just good off the bat, but it won't be. So I'm gonna try and process this and make the audio sort of something that you want to listen to for more than 5 seconds. Thank you for your time, especially if you waited. Well, maybe it's not a waste to you, maybe you're that into cognition and personalities and people that you enjoyed this somehow. But yeah, thanks, I guess. I had something to say. I was going to be like, you should say hi if you enjoyed this video, but you don't have to say hi. Let me know what you think about potential functions that you've seen, and if I'm an EP with that any, yeah, Oh, I fucking hate ending things. I'm mad about ending things. Ending things is what's wrong with the world. Ending things is not the best thing ever. Ending things is not a hotspot.